Hey guys, and welcome back to another review, I guess. It's been quite a while since my last one, but it seems to be the most popular video on the channel, which I'm not surprised, because when I did it, I mainly did it specifically because the gun meant so much to me, the 1911. Also, I noticed that there was not really any reviews for it, and literally for that weapon specifically, because before I bought it, I was looking up reviews, and the only ones I could find were either non-English, which there was at least like 2 of them of, or none altogether. And even then, it wasn't the silver one, it was always the Parkerized one. And well, the 2 I found were the Parkerized ones, so I wanted to put mine out there, because it's very rare to find. Same case with this one. This is the DoubleBell M4, the CQB variant. Let's get a bit closer so you guys see that. So this is going to be the M4 CQB 061B. Sorry, 061B. It's like, I played with this on Sunday. It was incredibly surprising, and I only paid £120 for it, and I was quite shocked with it. I'm not going to lie, the build quality was a bit subpar. You'll notice that a bit later as we get into the review, but otherwise it was quite fair. That the performance was impeccable, like literally impeccable. So let's just move a bit on, shall we? Now, opening the box, you'll have, I'll just open it because I've took the gun out. The weapon will be here, and you'll have a magazine there. That's all I received with it. It came with an instruction booklet, but in the instruction booklet it appears to be for the wrong variant of this rifle. But to be honest, most of them are just a case of bodies, and the internals usually work the exact same no matter where. But everyone who has an airsoft gun pretty much already knows how to use them, so I don't see any reason to go through them. But this one, like I say, was quite the performer, I must admit. So this is it. It did not come with this grip. This grip I attached on the day. But one problem I did notice straight away, which almost put me off the rifle, was this. The bottom is not particularly secure, and the handguard is very, very wobbly. But the handguard is easily swapped. You just pull down this little rim here, and you can literally take off the handguard. So if you have a replacement one, like I have, I did purchase a second handguard. Pretty much any M4 swappable handguard case will do. I purchased one that was completely rounded with no rails on, and I played with that for the rest of the day, because that way this wasn't annoying me, because it's straight edged. You can tell when it's taining. Very nice M4. It does sit quite well. You have the standardized rear where it just pops all the way off if you lift it like that. One thing I will say that I did notice, I recommend against putting the battery in the saddlebags, which is either side of the M4 stock or the Crane stock, which is the standard. You do usually put them either side, but I recommend against that. If you have a skinny LiPo battery, put it straight into the buffer tube. But obviously, if you've got a Crane battery, aka an unchuck battery, like most people will do when they're first starting, you've got no choice. But I'd just be very, very careful with how far out you pull the rifle. But if you have a skinny LiPo, like what I play with, I have a 7.4 1300 milliamp LiPo. That worked perfectly. There was no question. The performance was excellent. So out of the box straight away, I took this straight to the test range, and it fired right. Now, before I do this, I want to educate you a little bit on UK legal limits, just in case you're not aware of them. So in the UK, obviously, as most other countries, we have legal limits for the speed of which the projectiles are. Now, for airsoft, your projectile is measured at a standard of 2.0 BBs. Now, 2.0 is the standard weight. If whatever your gun speed is with those, that is your limit. That is what you're on. That is what you've got. So in the UK, legal limits for a fully automatic capable airsoft gun are upwards of 390 or below. That is it. You're not allowed to go past those limits, otherwise you are now holding a class 2 firearm. Now, the same thing goes for other types. For semi-auto lock weapons are usually capable of going up to 450, 400 to 450. And bolt actions usually go to about 500 solid, 500 flat or below. Those are the UK legal limits I'm aware of as of this date, currently on November 1st, 2023. As of this date, I believe those are current UK legal limits. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments. But this one is completely competently firing a solid 384. 10 shots in a row, 384. It only deviated by 1 point down or up. So the consistency is bang on. With a little work here, let's see if I can pull back the... Now, I don't know if you can see very well in there. Let me just turn on my ring light, so you have some nice lighting in here. That is a rotary hop-up. So you spin the... just get here. Okay, so it's really hard to locate. You can't really see here but properly, but that little black wheel at the back, that is your rotary hop-up. You rotate that up or down to adjust the hop on your rifle. Most other rifles have a disc-based hop-up where you can rotate it left or right, rather than this where you do up or down. Personally, I prefer rotary hop-ups. They're a lot easier to manage, whereas the normal disc one, in fact, I can actually show you a standardised disc one. This is a WE Scar. Now, as I pull back the charging handle on the side, if you look in there, you can see a different type of hop-up, where it's a disc, that little black circle there, that you rotate left or right, whereas that one rotates up or down. Like I said, I will be doing another review on this one quite soon on the channel. Look forward to that one. So essentially, when it comes to this one, it's an extremely cheap rifle. It was £120 for me. Most other countries vary it about up or down, but this one was quite fairly priced. And straight out of the box, it fired 384 FPS with no modifications whatsoever. Now, one thing I want to say is the range. Unbelievable range. This thing was firing at a solid 200 meters straight line, and at the end it didn't even dip, it went up. I never saw the bullets past that range. It was going so far that the bullets went out of my line of sight. It was perfect. It performed perfectly. I have no notes. Only thing I will say is out of the box it is quite loud. Usually with any other airsoft rifle you can adjust your motor height with this central screw. On this one it's a Allen key bolt. On most other ones it's just a flathead screw that you rotate left or right. The tighter you go, the higher you're pushing the motor in. Usually the higher you push the motor, the higher the noise, the higher the pitch. It's a squeak. It's a very, very loud squeak. But for some reason on this, the motor height is non-adjustable. Now on this you have the standardised ones of safe, semi, full automatic. Now that's pretty much standard for a M4 style rifle. This also came with a rear iron sight, but I took them off because it was just a standardised rear iron sight that was completely modelled on plastic. Personally, I am not one for that type, so I took that off straight away and replaced it with a hollow. So give me a second and I will place this in my preferred configuration for this gun. And we are back. So this is the preferred configuration I run with this weapon. A tan coloured suppressor. It could be any colour really, colour doesn't matter. But I preferred the tan, so it patterned well with my holographic. Now this is a decent setup. This worked perfectly and pristinely as I needed. Obviously, if it's any standardised M4 style magazine, the weapon itself does come with a standard Stanag high cap magazine. Once again, performs quite well. I literally have no notes. It fired a solid 384. The accuracy was perfection. I barely had to dial in the sight. I put the sight on, I barely had to dial in it. I only had to do one twist to the right and it was bang on target for what I needed. And most of the time optics are not really required, especially with close range M4s such as this. But with a suppressor, if you do get a sound suppressing suppressor, whereas this one's just a mock one, it's just a hollow, it's really just there for looks. I can put the actual components inside it to make it suppressive. Wouldn't be a difficult thing, but I don't think it would do that much for this weapon in particular. This weapon, when measured, came out to about 45 decibels. That's how close you got to the motor. So it's quite loud, but if you're doing CQB, they can see you anyway. But either way, this performed extremely well, and I am 110% willing to recommend it. It performed perfectly, no questions asked whatsoever. So if you are looking for a budget airsoft rifle, about £100 to £120, this one cost me £120, but if you look out there you can probably find it for a bit cheaper. Yeah, I was looking originally to completely strip this down and use it as part of an M16 hot swap setup, but it performs so well, I don't want to ruin it. It works perfectly, no questions asked, and I have no intention whatsoever of dismantling it. It just performs so well. But one thing before you do go, I would like to highly recommend the store I got this from. I got this from Airsoft 24/7. I'll put their logo and maybe a link in the description to one of their stores. It's a site-based store, physically site-based store, at one of the local venues I play at, Swat Parkgate. If you have any qualms about picking this rifle up and you live in the Liverpool area the same as me, I would highly recommend picking this up from SWAT 24/7, because it's your local airsoft site. More than likely you'll end up going there at some point in the future anyway, and the staff there are always friendly. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you have enjoyed and found this quite informative. Please keep tuned for the next airsoft video I will be putting up, probably about the Scar WE, which I do originally have the original box for as well. So thank you again guys, and hopefully you do enjoy the channel videos from now on. Right, bye.